Yesterday, I started saying about Plato. Before going to Plato, I said that in order to understand Plato, you need to understand the times of Plato and the space of Plato. Because, as per J.L. Lasky, every scholar is a product of his space and product of his time. Hence, in order to understand these two persons, you should know about the space called Greek and the time called 300 BC. Right? That is what I have said. And I said one thing: the Western political thought is all given by Plato and Aristotle, and that is the reason why you call them as or other political thinkers as just commentators who has just worked upon what Plato and Aristotle has said. See, this is what I have said. This is a quick revision. The entire Western political thought is nothing but a footnotes of Plato and Aristotle, which means it is saying about the important contribution of these thinkers to the Western political thought. So, political science has its origin in their work. They have studied almost everything in political science. As a result, they have left nothing for the other thinkers to study. So, whatever the other thinkers have studied is just additions or criticisms of the so called Plato and Aristotle. Hence, this is said to be commentators. Other scholars are commentators or giving explanations or giving footnotes of what Plato and Aristotle has said. Now, I said in the meaning of Western political thought, thought is something like what is the thinking of an age. Here, whenever we are studying about Western political thought of Plato and Aristotle, you have to think of the ages of Greek city because they belong to the Greek city. That is what I said. So we started studying about the so-called ancient Greek cities. Greek city states are much smaller states compared to the present day nation states. They are very decentralized, unlike the present day centralized states, and they were self sufficient entities in themselves. As a result, there is no difference between society and polity in these states. Hence, state and politics, state and society used to coexist here. That is the reason why Aristotle has said man is by nature a social animal, which in turn means man is by nature a political animal. Now, this is the social features of this. This is the way in which Greek city is formed. When it comes to economic structure, it is highly agrarian economy, just like the earlier Indian economy. And then here, in order to work, you have slaves. As a result, slaves have functional utility. Hence, slavery is justified by these thinkers. When you go to the social system, just like the Indian traditional Indian system, Greek system is also hierarchical in its nature, in which there is class difference. The class is called the masters and the slaves. Patriarchy in nature, where women is confined to the four walls of the family and they were not allowed to enter into the public sphere. Ethnocentric people, they have given importance to cultural superiorism, that is called they consider their race as superior, outside race are known as barbarians. After this, I started saying about Plato. In order to understand Plato, I said you have to understand Socrates, because it is always said that whatever whatever is Platonic is Socratic, or whatever Socratic is Platonic. What does this mean? Plato has derived all his philosophies based on this person called Aristotle, or Aristotle is the central theme in Plato's studies. Now, according to Plato, Socrates is called as the wisest man on the earth. Socrates is known as father of philosophy. Now, I started discussing about something called Socrates, why he is known as father of philosophy. In that, I said wisest man on the earth. Why he is known as wisest man on the earth? Wise person is a person who is having experience, who is having knowledge, and who shows good judgments. He is a wise person, right? Now, according to Socrates, philosophy is nothing but search for truth, and it began with human nature itself. Why human nature? Human has one thing called reason and passion, which is not available with humans and animals. So they have intellectual curiosity. Because of this, they wanted, because of this, they wanted to become philosophers, just like Buddha in India, right? Next, that is the reason why Socrates has given a famous statement. As human beings has reason and passion, they have intellectual curiosity, hence they have to search the meaning for their life. An unexamined life is unworth living. This is what Socrates have said. You can use the same quotation in ethics also, right? After this, pre-Socrates period, how the situation was there. Now there was universities of two types, physical type and spiritual type. Those who study about the known things, which is visible things. They are physicists. The first scholars set of students or teachers are known as physicists, whereas there is second set of teachers called sophists or sophism. Now, what sophists do, they will contemplate the things and they will study the things. Yesterday I said one wrong. See, I said this is Athens. No, this is not Athens, this is Sparta. Athens is the capital city of Greek. Greek capital city is Athens. After the class, I have noticed it. This is what the correction is. So, these philos like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle belong to Greeks and Athens. Sparta people used to have this sophism, that is called, they used to study about spiritual activities first. They used to look at the so called uh, philosophy about what is existing in the so called universe. They used to study it, the spiritual part. So this is studied for the first time by Spartans, not Athens. Athens is the capital city of Greek itself. So in the earlier times, Greek city used to have been physicists, whereas in Sparta they used to have some revolution that is called democracy. As because of this democracy, what they had, they used to have discussions on this, right? So this is how the thing. So the only change is yesterday I used here Athens. This is not Athens. This is Sparta. After this, we started discussing about this. Whatever is Platonic is actually Socratic. Whatever is Socratic is actually Platonic, which clearly says that in Plato's discussion, whatever he has discussed, he is about Socrates. Now, if you look at Plato, he is an idealist. He thinks about state, how to make the state as good state. Why he wants to make the state as good state? Because his state has killed Socrates. Why they have killed? Because the ruler is a foolish fellow. That is the reason why they have killed Socrates. He is a wise man. Socrates is a wise man and the ruler is a fool. As a result, Socrates was killed. Now he wanted to say that when the ruler is a fool, the state cannot be ruled in a good manner. As a result, make the ruler wise man. So he has given the concept of philosopher king. Not only that, in order to make the human in this philosopher king concept, he has given human soul concept and he has classified people. He has said about slavery, he has said about duties of citizens, education, everything. Everything he has given ideas, and he is known as an idealist. This is what I said yesterday. Let me continue from here. Now, today I am going to start about Plato as such. When it comes to Plato, what is the major work done by Plato? What is the major theories proposed by Plato? Plato has proposed many theories. One of the greatest thinkers of the times, he has proposed many theories. He has proposed theory on knowledge, theory and knowledge. He has proposed theory and ideas. He has proposed theory on human soul. He has proposed theory on justice. He has proposed theory on education. He has proposed theory on communism. He has proposed theory of philosophy. He has proposed theory of ideal state. In order to have an ideal state, all the above theories are important. Now, in English, generally, study of knowledge is known as epistemology. The study of knowledge or theory of knowledge is called epistemology. The study of ideas is known as ontology. This is basic English. Ontology. The study of human soul is known as metaphysics. Metaphysics. The study of justice is known as ethics, GS paper 4. Study of education is known as, or teaching is known as, pedagogy. So, almost Plato has given very new disciplines, not only to political science, but he has given uh, many new theories for the people to study. Theory on knowledge, theory on ideas, theory on soul, theory on justice, theory on education, communism, philosophy, ideal state. Now, he has some equal set of critiques also. Critical analysis of Plato. Many people have equal, he has been criticized or critically analyzed by many people. So the critiques is, some people said whether whether Plato is an enemy of open society. Few people question whether he is an enemy of open society. Through his theories, he appeared like he is an enemy of open society. Few people question whether Plato is the forerunner of fascism. Forerunner of fascism. Few people question whether he is the father of communism. Few people question whether he is the father of totalitarianism. Few people questioned or said, some critics said, he is the first feminist scholar. Few people said he is the father of political philosophy. High set of critics, political philosophy. So when you study Plato, whatever you are observing on this screen, you're going to study about these things in Plato. Not for exam. If you look at the question that they are asking in exam, they don't go into this depth. Rather, they are asking about the critiques of Plato in the exam. But in order to understand Plato very in well, you should know what exactly is Plato's ideas and each and everything, or what Plato has actually did, uh, has contributed in his life for the so-called political science. He has studied almost everything in political science. He has studied philosophy, he has studied metaphysics, he has studied epistemology, he has studied anthropology. So almost he has given many new disciplines in his thoughts. As a result, you have to understand not just for the sake of one question, but you have to understand all these things before answering the Plato. Right? This is what we study in Plato, all the things that you're seeing on the screen. So let's start with this. First thing, as I said, he studied everything: theory and knowledge, theory and ideas, theory and soul, theory and justice, theory and education, communism, philosopher king. Everything he said only for one thing, that is called ideal state. Why ideal state? As per Plato, ideal state is very important because unless and until there is an ideal state, the rule will be of fools. The rule will be of fools. As a result, in order to create an ideal state, he wanted to have he wanted to have the rule of the wise man. That is the reason why he has proposed all this. Now look at the previous year question in Plato. The previous year question that they asked is critiques of Plato. Plato was an enemy to open society, Popper has said. Aristotle's critiques of Plato and his ideology. So more or less, they didn't ask something that I have written in the left column there. In the left, they have not asked. They just asked the criticism or critiques of Plato. Some people criticized his as open society, enemy of open society. Aristotle criticized his ideology. So more or less, Plato, they are not asking what they have propounded, rather they are asking what Plato's criticism is. So one thing that I wanted to make it clear is, as far as Plato is considered, they don't ask the theory, the one in red color here. They are focusing on this point in the UPSC exam, that too for 10 marks, right? But why we have to study this his work is the rest of the few people, as we go ahead with Hobbes or anyone, we have to study again only from this person because he has given almost every other thing. So you need to understand about each and everything in detail. So that is the reason why we have to study all these components which was proposed by Plato. That is the first thing that I wanted to say. Let's start with something called theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge. So yeah, now it is okay. Now, according to Plato, theory of knowledge. Why he has proposed theory of knowledge? The first concept of